Gearing up for the big event. Good morning, the first in-person business.
What's in place to try and make it happen?
Yes, good morning. You'd be forgiven for not getting particularly excited about a business conference taking place. But obviously, if this goes well, the implication for more events are really significant. Good morning. This is one of a series of pilot events in Liverpool to see whether it's possible and safe to hold large indoor gatherings in the coming weeks and months. So 1,000 delegates and staff will gather at the city's exhibition centre. They'll be bringing their business cards, their best chat, but also a negative result from a lateral flow test taken within the past 24 hours. And that means once they're inside, they won't need to wear masks and they won't have to socially distance. Can you imagine? It's part of a government pilot to bring crowds back together again. We've already seen fans back at the football, and the first post-pandemic clubbers will be let loose at the weekend. And next month, the Brit Awards will take place with an audience. Now, what's crucial at all of these events is that data will be gathered. If and how far the virus spreads will tell us something about when and how more weddings, more comedy gigs and festivals can take place again. The plan at the moment is no earlier than the 21st of June. Now, as for today's conference, for a small event, there is a lot riding on its success. The events industry was worth £70 billion to the UK economy before the pandemic, but of course, it's been a really tough year. More than 700,000 people who work at events, from organising festivals to sorting the mobile bars and toilets, are freelancers or small business owners who rely on these events for their income. We spoke to Tom, who runs an events company. It will be a long journey, and today is a much-needed first step back on the road of recovery, but it is a tiny step. A little bit later, we'll be talking to the celebrity fashion designer Wayne Hemingway. He's been organising today's conference to find out how on earth you go about holding one in the middle of a pandemic. That's coming up just after 9 o'clock, Dan and Louise. And we were talking outside about what it would be like walking into a room, not wearing a mask, and just being able to stand side by side with someone you haven't seen for ages and have a coffee.
I've got this sort of feeling I'm not...
You just wonder how much we'll automatically keep our distance.
I do it at home.
Yeah, on each other's nerves.
It's always weird is when old photos of breakfast pop up on your...
we're sitting...
watching a film and you think, why are they standing so... You react to these
I think it'll go back to normal quite quickly, actually, probably.
Like riding a bike, I'm sure.
Thanks, Nina. It's got the details about how this is happening.
Yes, these baby steps hopefully forming a wider picture of how and when we can get back to normal. Good morning. This is one of a series of pilot events in Liverpool to see whether it's possible and safe to hold large indoor gatherings. So 1,000 delegates are gathering as we speak, armed with their business cards, their most charming chat and a negative result from a recent lateral flow test. Once they're inside, they won't need to wear masks and they won't need to socially distance. We've already seen fans back at the football. The first post-pandemic clubbers will be let loose this weekend, and next month the Brit Awards will take place with an audience. Now, these are all government pilots generating data which will tell us when and how more events can take place, and there is a lot riding on the success of today. Pre-pandemic, the events industry was worth £70 billion to the UK economy. A nerve-wracking but thrilling morning for Wayne Hemingway, the fashion designer and creative director of today's event. He joined the butterflies in the tummy ahead of a big event, and this one matters more than most, Wayne. How are you feeling? It's at the coffee stations, Wayne. Is it true that there's going to be a comedy event at the end to test the airflow when people laugh? Let's hope they're funny. Thing is gathering that essential data, isn't it? And I know you're a big believer that when it comes to business, physical human interaction, there's no replacement for it. We are gregarious by nature. Do you think we'll have lost any of that art? 700,000 work in the events industry. Many of them are people who didn't get that support from the government, who slipped through the cracks, so they will be watching closely today as well.
Real sense of sort of trying to get back, isn't it, to normal? Which
and all this data that's gathered will let us know how quickly we can move into it. The aim at the moment is, of course, the 21st of June.
Thank you.
We will